Hey guys, Joseph Catherine once again here, bringing you another review. Gonna try to reintroduce the video stuff again, particularly for the discussion parts that I'll have up and coming in the next few weeks, the top 10 videos and all that stuff. Um, but in the meantime, I typed up my entire review for the Imitation Game, and then Weebly didn't save it, so then it was gone. So, yeah, I don't even know why that happened. So I don't feel like typing it up again because it usually takes me about an hour to write these reviews. So I don't feel like taking another hour to write another review or write what I said basically again. So I'm just going to give you a video. And if you don't like it, well, then too bad. Remind me why I should care about you not enjoying me making videos. So anyway, here we go. This is the Imitation Game. The IMDb description is as follows. During World War II, mathematician Alan Turing tries to crack the Enigma code with help from fellow mathematicians. Alright, so, look, and I'm going to probably get a bit of people not liking me for this opinion, but I've kind of noticed that my tastes with movies have been getting a bit more. I expect more from movies this year than I have last year or in previous years. Is the Imitation Game? It's a good film. It's good, but that's all it is. And I just I can't get over the fact that this movie is Oscar bait. While Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley, while they're exceptional, they're very, very, very good. And I mean, obviously, I love Benedict Cumberbatch from his incredible work as Smaug in The Hobbit, and that picture of him on all fours doing the CGI for Smaug, which he didn't have to, but did anyway. It was awesome, and of course, he's brilliant as Sherlock in BBC's modern reimagination of the series, and I mean, I love him, and I'm glad he got a nomination, but he's not going to win. He's not going to win Best Actor. I mean, it's not the best performance I've seen in a movie this year. And Keira Knightley, yeah, she's good. She's very human here and very relatable. But again, it's like an Oscar bait movie. You have to have good acting, a story that at the very basis is dramatic. I mean, it's a dramatic. The real actual story is dramatic, and the movie doesn't have to do anything other than just retell the story, and then it makes it a good drama. Um, I mean, that's what the Imitation Game does. It takes a dramatic story, good acting, and then from a technical standpoint, play things very safe and very safe and secure, and you have yourself a movie that when the Weinstein brothers release something, I mean, the Academy notices it. And every year, the Weinstein brothers, whatever movie they decide they're going to release whatever, in December, and then have it go national in January. I mean, whatever movie they decide to do that with always seems to get some Oscar talk and gets a couple nominations. I mean, last year it was Philomena, which, I mean, granted, that was a good movie, but I mean, it's just it's a good movie. That's what it is. Um, so okay, so yeah, let's see. What does this movie do right? Well, I mean, the acting is obviously great. It's cool. I mean, obviously, this movie is a who's who with British actors. I mean, there's all these great, great British actors, including, I mean, Cumberbatch. It leads it. Definitely deserves a nomination. I mean, he's fantastic. Um, his work with Keira Knightley is exceptional, uh, and they have good chemistry together. Even though there's quite a few scenes without them, and Cumberbatch has just as good chemistry with Knightley as he does with Matthew Good, who's from Watchmen, I might add, one of my favorite movies, even though it really shouldn't be because it's really not that good a movie. Um, and Matthew Good and his cat and his crew, like the mathematicians that help, are all excellent. Are excellent. They're all good. Uh, I love seeing Charles dance in it. I love seeing Game of Thrones actors in other movies, because like all I'm thinking is, Tywin, you're wearing the wrong clothes whenever Charles Dance is up on the screen doing anything. But he's good. Mark Strong is in it. He's good. Stephen Waddington is good. Uh, who's the other guy? Whatever. I mean, there's a couple other actors in it. Oh, Roy Kinnear, I guess is his name. I recognized him from James Bond, from Skyfall and those movies. I mean, he's good. But again, everyone, the rest of the cast besides Cumberbatch is just good. That's it. I mean, that's all they are. And from the story is great. There's a whole thing, the whole like the second half of the movie is definitely better than the first half. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's just like there's two main issues that come up with this movie. One, of course, is the trailer of trying to solve Enigma, but the second issue is even more interesting than that. Uh, and there are a couple scenes that come along with this second issue that I'm not going to tell you because that would be a spoiler. Obviously, that to me were more powerful than anything that had anything to do with trying to solve Enigma. Um, easily. And even some of the better scenes I've seen in a movie this year. Well, one scene in particular, it's one of the better scenes I've seen in a movie this year, involving this second issue that I'm going to leave nameless. Um, I mean, but again, it's just it happened. The events they're good, and they're already dramatic. So like the movie doesn't have to do anything to make it more dramatic. But like that's where movies like Selma, that are also based off of very dramatic events. Like I watch something like that to see how powerful a movie like Selma can make its already dramatic events even more dramatic through good storytelling and good visuals and good acting and good directing. And then you watch The Imitation Game, where they play things very safe, and afterwards I'm like, oh, okay, okay, that was cool. I'm glad I know this now. I'm glad I know about Alan Turing and the the British attempts to break Enigma. I mean, I'm glad I know about this, but from a movie standpoint, does it matter? I mean, no. And I should also mention that, I mean, one of the things the movie does not do, could have done better, was the historical. There were some historical inaccuracies. Um, Two in particular. One is that, I mean, obviously Alan Turing was homosexual, um, and the movie does play it very safe in this department. The movie could have investigated Turing's homosexual side more than it actually did. But again, Oscar bait. We can't talk about things that are still controversial in today's day because, we don't want the old white guys at the Academy to forget about our movie when it comes time to do the nominations. Um, which I know sounds harsh, but unfortunately it's true. And if you try to say it's not, well, I mean, look at why Selma only got 2 nominations and American Sniper got 6. That that's all the reasoning you need right there. Anyway, so what was I saying? Crap. So all right, yeah, there are two big historical inaccuracies with the Imitation Game, and no, I'm not cutting that because I don't feel like editing doing this. That takes up too much time, and I have too much to do. Sorry. Um, so one was that Alan Turing had a partner, had a homosexual partner all throughout trying to break Enigma. That the movie, this character was essential, was pivotal to helping Turing and his crew break Enigma. Uh, and he's not mentioned at all. There's no mention of this other partner. Um, he's not cast. There's no character. They just cut him out completely. Um, and then the other one was the fact that Turing actually got the idea for building a computer from Poland. Some Polish scientists that first came up with the idea, and Turing actually and took that idea and developed it further. Now that one, I mean, that's kind of being picky, but that first one is kind of a big oversight, and it goes to what I was saying before. I mean, and particularly for someone who, if you've watched the movie, I discovered this upon further investigation, my research after the film, that there was this partner that was completely left out. Um, like, and like, hopefully, people that will come to the defense of the movie will, when they hear that, be kind of shocked and might not come as quickly to the defense of the Imitation Game, saying that it's like the best movie of the year, or close to it, or anything. Uh, um, then, well, maybe not necessarily do that, because that is kind of a big oversight. It's not the worst historical inaccuracy this year. I mean, American Sniper definitely took far bigger steps and liberties with its story. Um, and Selma's misinterpretation of LBJ is kind of big. But I mean, to leave out a character like that, that just goes back to what I was saying before, and I'll say it again. I mean, this movie is Oscar bait, and as a result, it plays things very safe. I mean, it's very similar to The Theory of Everything, which is this year's big Oscar bait movie. Um, but that's the big one. That's number one. Number two is The Imitation Game, and it's just hard for me to get past the fact that it's that. And so while I wouldn't say that I'm gunning for the movie, because it is a good movie. And if you're a fan of World War II, if you're a fan of British movies, if you're a fan of seeing a different side of the war, I mean, the war shots of The Imitation Game are excellent. They're very well done. Probably the best shots from a technical standpoint in the movie. But the rest of the movie, it's just like, from a technical standpoint, it's very bland. And I mean, everything's hand mounted. There's no interesting editing. There's no crazy shot, something with cinematography doing like a long, cool wide shot, or just a single shot. Like, I mean, Gravity's opening 20 minutes of that one shot and showing everything. I mean, there's nothing like that. Granted, with this story, you can't really do something like that, but you also don't have to just have everything just be, following all the rules of cinematography and just having, I mean, like this. Like, I'm talking to you right now through this. I mean, this is playing things very safe. I could try something different and hold it like this and make things a bit more dramatic, maybe. Or, like, talk like this. Now it looks like I'm staring dramatically off into the distance. I mean, it's something little like that. Like, if you do that to make a movie more interesting from a technical standpoint, I enjoy it more. Like, that's why Birdman's getting so much hate this year, because it is so technically challenging. And same with Whiplash. I mean, the editing for that is so out there, and that's my thing. Like, even though my standards for movies have definitely gone higher now than they once were, that's where my basis is coming from, because there are edgier movies out there that are saying screw the norm, screw the foundation, screw the system. We're gonna do our own thing, and those are the movies that are really getting to me this year, not these safe Oscar baity movies. So, all right. So, I mean, I've talked too much about this movie at this point. I mean, it's going to take me forever to upload this on my crappy internet connection, and it's also significantly longer than my review was. But I mean, that's just, those are my thoughts on The Imitation Game. My critique is, it's Oscar bait at its finest. Good acting, solid and safe technical aspects, and a dramatic story. While it is worth watching, it is merely a good film. That's all it is. It's just good. And I mean, as much as I don't want to say, well, forget about this story in 2 or 3 years, or this movie in 2 or 3 years, we shouldn't forget the story, because it is a good story. We're gonna forget about this movie in 2 or 3 years. I mean, same thing with Philomena. I liked that movie. I liked it a lot, but I don't remember it at all. I mean, I just picked on Philomena just simply because it's the latest. It was last year's Weinstein Brothers movie, The Weinstein Company, whereas this year's Weinstein Company movie is The Imitation Game. Um, Recommendation, I mean, if you like British films or World War II films, go check it out. If not, your time's better spent elsewhere. Unless if you want to watch all the Best Picture nominations. If you don't care about that, then don't bother. Um, my rewatchability level is moderately low. I don't have any desire to watch this movie again anytime soon, other than to oogle at Benedict Cumberbatch in a very normal and restrained way. And my critique is 7 out of 10. It's good. That's all it is. So, all right, thanks guys. That's my thoughts on Imitation Game. If you're still here, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time from End of the Movies. Deuces.